Welcome back to Lessertainment, the channel with the most deceptive name in all of YouTube. This video is sponsored by MyBookie, more on them in a second. I think that most of us watch fights for those amazing knockouts, and there have been plenty of fighters who have a ton of power in their hands that they basically run through everybody, getting knockouts like De La Hoya does lines of white powder. I wanted to see what top knockout machines have also been knocked out, and so we can all witness them getting a taste of their own medicine. Let's start with Julian Jackson, who is one of the hardest punchers pound for pound and fought in the middleweight division. He started his career going 29-0 with 27 knockouts. That's when he came upon the champion Mike McCallum, and although the fight was over in only 2 rounds, it was really exciting. Jackson was able to hurt the champion a couple of times this fight, almost winning and keeping his undefeated record alive, but McCallum came back in the second round and forced the referee to stop the fight. Jackson then won another 17 fights with 16 knockouts before losing again, and again it was by knockout, this time against Gerald McLellan.
No chance of Southie. Oh, there. Julian going to win it right in. Down goes Jackson. And there's a minute left to go. Can McLellan finish him off?
Every single defeat Jackson had in his career, which were 6, were all by knockout, which shows that either he gets the knockout or he goes down on his shield. He ended with an 89% knockout to win ratio, having a record of 61 fights, with 55 wins and 49 knockouts. Derrick Lewis has a total of 34 fights in MMA, winning 25 of them. But get this, he has won 20 of them by knockout. That's an 80% knockout to win ratio, which is amazing numbers for MMA. He's lost 5 times by knockout, but it is the heavyweight division, so it's understandable. His first KO loss was against Matt Mitrione.
Lewis might be out, trying to respond.
Many of his other knockout losses are because he gets tired, and basically the other guys just pressure him until he basically just covers up and doesn't throw anything back, and then the fight gets stopped, like his latest fight against Cyril Gahn.
Mergliotta stepped in to stop the beating. Cyril Gahn defeats Derrick Lewis by...
Gerald McLellan, who beat Julian Jackson twice by knockout, had 2 early defeats in his career, but they were both by points. He was an absolute knockout machine, having 29 knockouts and 31 wins, which is a knockout to win ratio of 93%. He was only knocked out once in his career, and that was on his last fight against Nigel Benn.
And goes down in 3 rounds.
Bad
3
change
times.
here from McLellan, Reg.
All heart is won this fight, and he's going to do it. He's going to stop him, I tell you that.
This turned out to be his last fight, since he lost consciousness after he was knocked out and was rushed to the hospital. He had a blood clot removed, but had severe brain damage. People criticized the ref, since McLellan had hurt Ben twice in the fight, and when he was trying to end it, the ref impeded his progress. It was later revealed that this issue was not caused during this fight, as he had the same blinking problem during a sparring session, but it never got looked at. He could have knocked out so many more boxers if he would have been able to continue. The Notorious has some freaking impressive numbers. Conor McGregor has knocked out 19 opponents in his 22 wins. That's an 86% knockout to win ratio. His freaking left hand is just blessed by God. He's been submitted 4 times throughout his career, with the most satisfying being against Khabib. Knockouts though, those are hard to come by against Conor. The only one that was a legit knockout was the second fight between him and Dustin Poirier.
Oh my God! Dustin Poirier!
He technically lost his last fight against Poirier by knockout, but it was because of a broken leg. But the way things were going, we were probably looking at another Poirier knockout victory. Big George Foreman was a terrifying heavyweight boxer who looked unbeatable in the 70s, and was 40-0 coming into his fight with Muhammad Ali, having knocked out 37 of those guys. His chin is considered one of the best in history. But on this night, Ali really showed why he is considered the GOAT.
Ali, a sneaky right hand. Another sneaky right hand. This time he works over the shoulder of Foreman.
He knocked out Big George all while making fun of him and calling out his so-called godly power punches that he was never able to showcase. What Ali did was all that more impressive since Foreman fought 41 more times and was never knocked out again, even though he lost 4 more fights. That chin and power is what led him to becoming the oldest boxer to become a world champion when he beat Michael Moore 20 years after losing to Ali. He ended with an 89% knockout to win ratio.
Michael Moore needs to go back to working. That's it! It's a short right hand!
Deontay WIlder was an absolute beast, starting his career having fought 40 times, all wins by knockout. His first blemish was a draw against Tyson Fury, but as this fight was clearly robbery, as he should have lost by decision. Fury did change up his style and brought the fight to Wilder on the second fight, finally beating him by knockout and leaving nothing in the hands of the judges. The second fight was a complete dismantling of Wilder by Fury. Of course, they did it again, earlier this month with the same result, although this time Wilder was a little better, putting Fury down a couple of times.
Natural strength. Fury throwing it up again. Oh! And that's it!
Fury is a 1 in a million heavyweight boxer, so Wilder shouldn't feel bad, and he should be able to come back and dazzle us with many more knockout wins. Carlos Zarate was a freaking beast at bantamweight, starting his career with 52 straight wins, 51 of them by way of knockout. That's when he decided to move up in weight and challenge the next fighter on this list, Wilfredo Gomez, and got beat in the 5th round.
Pursuing but backing off, and the left and the right in combination, and then another left. Gomez not fighting the cleanest fight in the world, and
This was the fight with the highest knockout win percentage in history, as Gomez was 21-0, all wins by knockout. Zarate was dropped 4 times in this fight. He actually did retire in 1979, but came back 5 years later at super bantamweight, but took 2 losses in his final 2 fights, as he was challenging once again, trying to get that title that he couldn't take from Gomez all those years ago. One of those was by his only 2nd knockout ever against Daniel Zaragoza.
Daniel Zaragoza, el número 3 en la historia de esta división, una izquierda que paralizó a Carlos Zarate, y aquí tenemos la acción.
The great Puerto Rican boxer Wilfredo Gomez has the nickname Bazooka, and it matched him perfectly, as he had 17 consecutive knockout championship defenses, which is a record in all divisions. Having 17 defenses is already crazy, but all with knockouts? That's insane. As mentioned before, he knocked out Carlos Zarate, but his first defeat was the knockout loss by an unrealized talent in Salvador Sanchez.
That's why I tell the fans are getting their money's worth this one.
Gomez is on the rope, his foot under the nose again. He's hurt, Gomez is hurt.
It's down, it's gone.
He was on a 32 knockout win streak, but lost in the 8th round. He fought a total of 48 times and won 44 of them, and 42 of them by the way of chloroform. That is a 95% knockout to win ratio. He lost 2 more times, and both of them were knockouts, including against Azuma Nelson.
It's getting larger. What a left hook by Nelson. Gomez nearly out on his feet. He's down. Azuma Nelson is and again Wilfredo Gomez.
Aaron Pryor was a light welterweight legend in the 80s, fighting a total of 40 times and winning 39 of them with 35 knockouts. A 90% knockout ratio, having knocked out the great Alexis Arguello twice.
And the pace picking up the center away. Arguello trying to come off. A smashing right hand. Arguello's helpless against the ropes. Arguello's hands on the center.
His only defeat came in his 37th fight against Bobby Joe Young, who was able to knock him out in the 7th round.
I'm Randy Gordon along with Letterman. Oh, what a right hand! Bobby Joe Young landed a tremendous right hand, and Aaron Pryor is on clear streak. He is shaking. The legs are just quivering.
He actually retired undefeated, but attempted a comeback, but his life was consumed by drugs, so he was no longer the same terrifying knockout artist. And Young was a journeyman, but with all this against him, he got knocked out. He fought 3 more times and won all of them by knockout, which is still impressive considering what he was dealing with. If you happen to enjoy this video, please give it a like, as it really gets the algorithm real horny. And also subscribe and turn on those notifications. Hopefully you enjoyed watching these amazing fighters finally looking up at their opponents, instead of them always looking down at them. Thanks for watching this video. See you next time.